some vlog time. So, Poop Bomber Part 3. They said he will be evicted soon. And we have the new signs out. Some of them were used. Selling used signs as new. One of them was pretty good. One of them tore. Sticking the pins through tore it. So, they're all hammered into the ground or glued up with construction glue. They checked out the place that was hit by the car today. The actual, people who will end up repairing it showed up. So, that sucks. They declared it unlivable and then didn't give the people who lived there another option. So, yeah. I do believe that you need a quicker construction technique. Something to get up more connected houses quicker. Anything that's a day build. Bubble house looks cool. You can't do some steel bars and concrete. Imagine a team can make the concrete, another team can make the steel bars, and another team can build it. You could have people churning out homes all day. Like you're talking about a one per person one. So it's like a line for sewage, a line for electricity. So, yeah, modern houses have so many amenities. Allegedly, building crews can only make 3 or 4 a year. That's why there's high housing prices and there's a housing crisis, is they made a ton of people and not enough people are building houses. There's not enough land they want to put aside to that. So, I was looking at houses on Realtor. There's some really good ones for under 200,000 way from here. So I do plan on leaving here. This might be the last time I ever step foot in my hometown. It's just too hot and too expensive. Yeah. It's kind of sad what happened with my family, but honestly, I could see the signs coming. The way they were when I was younger, the things I went through, they weren't really family. They weren't loyal, they didn't care. So, yeah. Hey, winners and losers, man. Were you born with a private harem and a ton of gold? Or were you born and circumcised and did you have homework? That's who you are. As much as you may hate it or like it, that's what you get for the rest of the time. It's just pointing it out, oh, there's been an unfairness or there's been an injustice. They can't fucking hear you. They know they're victims, they'll complain. They don't want anyone to say shit. So yeah. Oblivion Remastered came out. It's not a remake. It's Oblivion Remastered. I got more stickers on last night. Still gonna do more. I got months before I'm leaving. So, probably about 2 months to the day. It is interesting, though, the day I chose to come up to my hometown had the highest wind they had ever seen in history. The second highest wind is half that. So, yeah, the day I drove up was the day there was an intense wind. Faster than they had ever seen here. Not in 80 years had they seen a wind that strong, and only by half. So that happened when I moved. That's really interesting. I only came back because I wanted to do the dollar drops. I had been throwing money, but I had experimented with money that if you use a Sharpie on a $1 bill, it will wear, it will degrade. That message will not be around for very long. And so this idea came to use fake money. And then it was like, well, this can get wet. And so, yeah, I hit some super densely populated events with thousands upon thousands of messages. Hopefully, a few of them are useful. I really think the only reason I seem to be the only person who cares about this is because of censorship. They don't want the people who are against this to get together and know each other. It's like divide and conquer. So, and probably one of the reasons I've survived is they probably have too many people doing what I'm doing. It doesn't take a genius to put 2 and 2 together like that. Oh yeah, God says to get circumcised. I know what time it is. They're not ever going to stop lying about that. Or they're never going to hide. They're never going to say why they did it either. They're going to lie until they're caught. So, yeah, I spread the word as much as I could. There was really no other location I could do it. Everywhere else I knew about was either too small, too expensive, or it rained. It became too wet. So I had to do it here, and I did it a lot. There were months I did it every day. Recently I took a break and I moved to QR codes. Saved me some energy. Yeah. I also had to get a new vehicle, and it just so happened that my neighbor, named Roman, who lives on Seneca, every street here is a capital letter, lowercase, rest of the letters. His does not. His street is all caps. How did that happen? And he sold this car to me. It had some issues, but I fixed them all one by one. I don't imagine there's going to be any more big ones. It runs pretty solid. So yeah, my plan is to move out into it again. Fortunately, my neighbors, I'm going to give them my stuff. The people who helped me clean up yesterday, I'll give them my shelves. I'll give them like a few of the cool stuff I got. I'm going to keep my pressure washer because I can use that. That might be helpful to have. Yeah, I got that big ass scooter. If I got rid of that scooter, I would honestly. The one problem with it is it's not street legal. But the reason I have it is nothing else can pull my ass. All the ones that they considered fair to use are too fucking small for me. And so I use the big ass one, and fortunately they've looked the other way. I've driven it around cops a lot. They just go like, whatever. It's kind of true, I noticed, with a lot of people. It's like, do you have to follow the rules exactly? Nah. If you do something that causes an issue, yeah, what you were doing wrong, they may choose to hold against you. But if you do something and you don't get caught and nothing bad happens, they don't give a shit. It's like it didn't happen. So it's like if I was going and running people over, they may care. But I'm using it as a message delivery service to get out a vital bit of intelligence. They can't fucking see me. They don't give a damn. Which I appreciate. So, yeah, this cop asked me to stop because I had canvassed Walmart every day for months. This cop had asked me to stop. He's like, the staff have to pick it up and they're getting annoyed. And I was like, so I went outside and I put it on the cop's car, put it in his windshield. He's like, he came out yelling. I just drove away, flipping him off. Yeah. It's hard to hate what I gotta say because it's so interesting. It's like, where's this blank I need filled in? The real government are liars. Here's who they are, and this is what the lie's about. I didn't hear it, but from some people, and it's tough to believe when you hear it. But when you hear it, you're gonna go like, "Oh shit, yeah, no way." Yeah, it fits. Their version of world history is not as congruent as my version of world history, and it's sad. I would have wanted something else, but you know how many cows are slaughtered? They all want something else. You watch some circumcisions, they're fucking brutal. That little person isn't being tormented. The government is cruel. Cut the boys, and basically they breed the girls to be sex slaves, so they have no life. War. War upon the thrones of man. If you get power, you gotta do something cool with it. Otherwise, your people have the right to turn against you. You've done something so drastic it needs a response. They tried sending some of their Christians after me. They were usually pathetic. I've had a few run-ins with people who know who I am and don't approve, and they're usually Christians. They're usually like going to heaven with Jesus, which is always like their moral conundrum is, if God is real, why should you do efforts to communicate for him? It's a huge, just like, when you realize that the whole scam comes with, we were appointed to talk about it, and you should talk about it too. It's a scam. It's not legit. Eat world bullshit. So yeah. The rust remover gave me an interesting feeling. I was like spraying rust remover so I could affix some of my signs. And I got some on my feet and it cleared up my head. It's not marked poison, but it did. It cleared up my head. Like I felt like this block I had in my brain was cleared up after a couple of minutes. Maybe it's I did something different. Nah. So yeah, I still got a while to go. Probably gonna do some night rides as it gets warmer. I'm sad the internet. Think about the internet. It's like inside, right? So it's how your brain thinks mirrored back in a way. See, one of the big lies is that it's like, oh, I'm just showing you who you are. Trying to sneeze. Right, I'm just showing you who you are. But they always do it when they're being like humiliating or putting down, right? It's an attack. I said a thing this way. They know what the appropriate emotionally connective response would be, but they get it slightly wrong. Let's just flick this person a little. Yeah, I hate him. Used to have P.O. Box 111 in Sedona. I stopped paying for it, but I used to have that. You know why? Because I'm special. I ain't special. They teach you not to think that way, but I am. Where my origins, what I know, what I care about, and who I am in my luck. My purpose is to destroy the secret government. Murder the people who cut our fucking dicks off and raped our girls. And they don't want anyone to know they exist. So it's not illegal to say, hey, I threatened somebody's life who technically says they're not real. Is that a crime? Let's say I threaten to kill the Lord of the Bible. Is that a crime? You're talking about someone who alleges to be a ghost in the maker of the universe and invincible. If they're lying and they're really a man, I think they deserve it. So, Donald Trump loves gold and circumcision. My Donald Trump on this internet. They can lie with AI, make it look real. I don't believe they really let me get out there and talk to real people. I'm sure they just like put them in a box. That's why I do the paper in-person messages. Yeah, it's a stunning thought that every revolution of the past was a lie to make the slaves feel like they had actually gotten out from the real government, and that you've never gotten free from the real government, not even a little bit, and that every little bit of war was their deliberate slaughter, and every single thing for independence and freedom was a hoax to make the people who lived there feel like they chose it. When was the last time the cows got free? Has there ever been a time in history where the cows weren't meat? So what about the slaves class and the ruling class? Who's the slave class? People who go to the free building about circumcision. Who's the ruling class? In my mind, the people who are benefiting from things like mines providing everything. The mining industry provides everything to both sides of every war, and they also have hidden territory. So, would the real government be a secret bunker? Something you can't see, some hidden city? Until you get into researching hidden human underground cities, there's not a lot of info. Like, you can Google the Gold Empire, and nothing comes up. It's like it doesn't exist. There's no gold empire, right? Or if there's censorship, they censor that. Hide who they really are. There's no way a creator who makes objects and uses words asked us to create a book and talk for it. That's just some fucking bullshit. And so who made up that bullshit and why? You don't know what a lie is until you know who lied and about what. It's like this kid. He's like, oh yeah, they said I could dump my poop back here. Who said? I went and talked to them. They had never heard from him. So I make art all the time. I can turn something that looks like something into something else. So yeah, Rome used to crucify people. The chosen one was crucified there. It's not a hard lie to pull off. I hope to encourage the government to get caught existing. That is some effort they will do to try to stop me will show their hand. And I hope that their slaves will abandon the delusions and support me. That people who realize it's insane to do work for God. So if God's as powerful as they say, why would you go out there and tell people about it? Let God do that. And they're hypocrites. They have to go out there and tell people about it because they were charged to. It asked once when it told this other person. So, if the cows have never gotten free, what makes you think the man is free of a secret government? They all follow laws or they get punished. Every religion is a male genital mutilation hoax. You can't look in private property because privacy protects that. So who is the oldest rich on earth, and what evidence do we have of who they are? The pyramids? The continuity of gold being special? The continuity of diamonds being special? You know, Africa, how'd they get you to believe that Britain owned the Africans when Africa is like 80, 90 times bigger than Britain? How did that happen? It's suspicious. Somebody's the secret government, and it's not me. And I know they exist because of what they do. So